Good evening, I'm Mr. John from explainingmaths.com, and together we will solve this past paper question about sequences. So check my website explainingmaths.com for all the other free resources, including many videos about sequences. What does it say? It says the sum of the first 4 terms of a geometric series is 520. The sum of the first 5 terms is 844, and the sum of the first 6 terms 1330. Find the common ratio of the geometric progression of the sequence and find the sum of the first 2 terms. Okay, so let's just organize the information first of all. So it's important to realize we're talking about geometric series, geometric progression. So not to mistake for arithmetic. And the sum of the first 4 terms, so S4 I should say, equals 520. And the sum of the first 5 terms is 844, and of the first 6 terms is going to be 1330. But that's the sum, so that will be term 1 plus term 2 plus term 3 plus term 4 is S4, and the first 5 terms S5. So how can I find the actual terms? Well, for instance, that term 5, so U5, is the same as the sum of the first 5 terms, take away the sum of the first 4 terms, and then I'll be left with term number 5. Okay, so 844 take away 520, what is that, 324. There we go. And if we do that for another one, so term number 6, for instance, is the same as the sum of the first 6 terms, take away the sum of the first 5 terms. So 1330, take away 844, 486. There we go. Find a common ratio, and you know now that the common ratio for geometric progressions is you do a term and you divide it by the term before it. So in this case U6 divided by U5. So 486 divided by 324. We plug that in my calculator. Let me see. 486 divided by 324. 1.5. A nice number there. 1.5. Fantastic. Moving on to question B, find the sum of the first 2 terms. 2 ways you can do that. To find the sum of the series, the formula given in your formula booklet, so you do not have to know this one by heart. So Sn had the sum of the first n terms equals U1 times 1 minus r to the power n over 1 minus r. But as you can already see, okay, we know r, we know n, the first 2 terms, but we need to know that first term, u1. So how can I find it? Well, I know that u5 is 324, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's 324. So u1, that's u1, is times r, times r, times r, times r. So u1 times r to the power 4 is going to give you u5. So that's going to give you 324. And you just found that r is 1.5. 1.5 to the power 4. And if you rearrange that, so 324 divided by 1.5 to the power 4, if you plug it in your calculator, you're going to find out that u1 equals 64. So that's important information. So again, you can do 2 things now. You can use the formula. So S2 has the sum of the first 2 terms equals u1. So you just found that 64. 1 minus 1.5 squared for the first 2 terms. 1 minus 1.5. Plug that in your calculator. And let me just find that answer for you there. So 1.5 squared equals 1 minus answer equals times 64 equals divided by negative 0.5. I'm going to get 160 there equals 160. So that's one way of doing it. You can also say, well, u1 is 64. That's the information you need to find anyway. So u2 is going to be 64 times r. So u2 is going to be 64 times 1.5 what is that, 96. So the sum of the first two terms is u1 plus u2. So that is, what was u1? 64 plus 96. So we don't need that formula at all, actually, because you can do that, two terms, add them together, you're going to get 160 as well. Just to show you, there are always different methods to get to the correct answer. Guys, I hope it was useful. Check my website, explainingmaths.com. I have loads of other free resources there for you, including many past paper questions like this one. I'm Mr. John. I wish you a very pleasant evening. Bye-bye.